Hey guys, Explorer One. I made a video last night discussing this previous video that I made. Obama tweet congratulates Satan for achieving goals and inspiring kids. And I was under the impression that he may have deleted his Twitter, but I did come to find out, thank you to some of the comments and also to my own research as well, that he does have two official Twitter accounts. They are both real accounts. Just one is POTUS and one is at Barack Obama. So I want to apologize for that. I do make mistakes and I have no problem admitting that. Now, moving on, what I wanted to really start following up on, though, is some of these weird coded messages and what I believe to be double entendre, double speak, double meaning that is occurring in these various places. And, you know, just to retouch on this briefly, you know, we discussed that this particular tweet was thanking the GOAT or Baphomet or Satan. And as many people have pointed out, GOAT can mean greatest of all time. It can mean, in my opinion, also the God of all things. And even if you're saying it means the greatest of all time, you're still saying that the GOAT is the greatest of all time. So you're still making a compliment to the GOAT, just like, you know, Bush with the pet goat reading it the morning of 9/11 and the Heliofant film I Pet Goat 2. There is no part 1 because they're telling you that Barack Obama pets the goat 2, T-O-O. It's a play on the number 2 to let you know. That's why Bush turns into Obama in I Pet Goat 2, is because they're telling you that they both pet the goat. They both worship Satan. That's the point of the title. And of course, there's a ton of other things hidden in the animated film, but that's not for this video. But that's the point of the goat stuff that I want to get across to you. Now, let's move along to some other interesting things. I made a video several months ago that talked about a lot of different things, but one of the things it talked about very briefly was this tweet on his at Barack Obama account. Again, both official accounts for the president. And what I noticed some new things in this, and I think it runs along with the theme that we're going to be talking about in this video. Okay, so what I found out some new information when I took a look at this again, and I'll point it out to you. Here's what I think that he's trying to say in this. Hey, it's the deadline tonight. Time to make your move. Chip in now. And I think it's a veiled reference to the RFID chip. Now, what this is really about, this sort of plausible deniability for the chip in now phrase, is it's a reference to giving money to this Organizing for Action committee that this Twitter account has most of their tweets regarding. But I think it's a convenient way to constantly be able to put this chip in reference out into the public perception, and also a message that I believe he's sending to other politicians, other countries. And here's why I think that. Now, the photograph that they chose to use for this has NATO in the background. Okay, so that's very, very interesting that he's talking about, you know, it's time to make our move. There's a deadline. I know it says tonight, and this tweet is from September, and nothing happened, but I don't think he meant that people had to get their chip by September 30th. What he was talking about was the 3-day NATO summit, or at least that's what the picture is from. Now, the summit took place back in 2012, okay? So we can make assumptions about whether it's just a reference to the summit that occurred in 2012 and maybe some decisions that they made for future deadlines having to do with, you know, RFID chips. I know some of that is going to seem like a stretch to you, but clearly, I mean, there's a message that's being sent with using this old picture from a NATO summit, right? With this kind of odd verbiage at the top. Now, if this was an isolated occurrence, I mean, I'm sure that you could call it just maybe a coincidence. I wouldn't, but that's just me. So let's move on to some other examples. Here's this tweet from the 18th, again on the at Barack Obama Twitter account, and it even says, lend a hand. Chip in. So it's even talking about your hand and the chip in, and they always separate it with this. Whenever it's like they're trying to bring attention to something, they either put it in quotations or they put a dash next to it, in my opinion, because it's draws your attention to it. So, you know, this seems odd to me. Even the photo seems weird. Somebody down here says it looks like looks like you're pooping. I mean, it looks like he's in pain or something. I don't know. It's just an odd photograph. But the main thing is the verbiage here. Lend a hand. Chip in. And you had to know that he couldn't pass up Christmas without doing some mockery and devil worship at the same time. I mean, you have this photograph here, and of course, some people are going to say, "Oh, that's just a reindeer decoration, Explorer." Well, that's a pretty serious antlers right there. Looks kind of like horns to me. In fact, it looks like almost perfect horn, 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 horn. I mean, those are serious antlers to go straight up like that, like horns. But I'm sure someone will try and debunk it. I mean, even this image on her shirt, I mean, you could take it as like the anarchy or a 5-pointed star, or maybe that's nothing. But the main thing is this thing right here. That just seems odd to me. And we know he likes to put this symbolic stuff on his tweets and photographs and pictures and things like that, because most of you remember this tweet here. They try to pass this off as Game of Thrones related. But, I mean, come on. This is not about Game of Thrones. I mean, wake up. I mean, I'll link this article below, but I mean, it seems like he's basically comparing himself to either the Beast or to Nimrod, okay? And so it points out here, Revelation 6:2, and I saw and behold a white horse, and sat on him. He had a bow, just like the picture, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And it's very reminiscent of Nimrod with his bow. And there's a lot here with some Bible verses and stuff as well. So I will link this for you. Here's another one. Now this is from what, the 24th? The 24th looks like, or maybe this was just today. But another chip in, help gear up for big fights in 2016. Again, the plausible deniability, and it's a double meaning. So the one meaning is to donate to the Organizing for Action Committee or whatever this nonsense is, but you have this picture. It's got the 55 in the background. Of course, that's for he's turning 55 this year, but it's also for 55 is Satan in gematria, and that's why they make sure to put the 10 so prevalent right in front of him, because it's another 5-5 reference with the chip in reference as well. So just wanted to point those few things out for you. I appreciate you having an open mind and watching. I do have some other things that I'm working on. Hopefully I can get them out today. And as always, thanks for exploring, and God bless.